So overnight, a federal judge is extending her order blocking President Trump from deploying the National Guard to Portland and its ICE facility. As Trump calls out, far-left judges going way too far.
Okay, so even though this entire ICE Portland building has basically been destroyed, even though the Portland police have fully admitted they can't really help out federal agents when tear gas is deployed, they can't help out federal agents if vehicles are being transported, despite all of this, a federal judge has still ordered that the National Guard deployment to Portland will be on pause for now.
Whoa! Whoa! You're on camera.
And recently, protesters decided to block off federal agents and not allow them to leave the main road in front of the Portland ICE facility. And I know, it's a little ironic, this is what federal agents have been arguing. We want help from the Portland police are not helping, so let's just bring in the National Guard, but a judge still said no. So we have a lot to dig into. In fact, this is not the first time a judicial order has created a negative impact in this area of Portland. I'll show you guys that in a second. Now, before we start the video, make sure to please like the video. It's the #1 way you guys are helping this channel, and it also helps others see the videos as well. We've been covering this story since day one, all the way back in June. I want to make sure people are getting the right information, accurate information, so get the videos out there so people know what's going on.
Facility says noises like this have been keeping her up every night for weeks. The lawsuit asked a county judge to force the city of Portland to enforce its noise ordinance.
The court concluded that it would not grant our motion.
Thomas Rask, one of the lawyers who filed the lawsuit, says the judge felt they had not met the high legal bar that would allow her to compel the city to take action.
That judicial order was from back in August, and again, the judge said, hey, Portland police, you don't have to respond to 911 calls that have to do with loud noises. Now, many people had no idea this was even a thing at the time. No one even knew what was going on in Portland, but for the journalist on the ground, Katie Daviscourt, Honey Badger Mom, and Ryan, after this judicial order, things became a lot more dangerous for them because if the Portland police don't have to respond to 911 calls, this means they're on their own. There are no Portland police. It's up to the federal agents on whether or not they want to protect the journalist, and all of them were eventually attacked multiple times. And in the trial Katie Daviscourt covered on the National Guard deployment, the Portland police said, we can't help out, we can't respond to 911 calls if tear gas is being used or with the loud noises. Basically, the Portland police cannot show up in any of these really aggressive clashes. So again, you have this correlation of if a judge says you don't have to respond to the 911 calls, obviously if there's less security in the area, that's a pretty clear indication you might have a little more dangerous aspects to this story because of a judicial order. So I'm just trying to show you guys this story has a lot of different turns, and based on what a judge orders, that could have a lot of implications for this area of Portland.
Deploying the National Guard to Portland and its ICE facility. As Trump calls out, far-left judges going way too far.
Have some of these raids gone too far?
No, I think they haven't gone far enough because we've been held back by the judges, by the liberal judges that were put in by Biden and by Obama.
You're okay with those tactics?
Yeah, because you have to get the people out. You know, you have to look at the people. Many of them are murderers. Many of them are people that were thrown out of their countries because they were, criminals.
Well, you promised in your campaign that you were going to deport the worst of the worst. Violent criminals.
Oh, we're doing that.
Now, another huge aspect people are forgetting about this Portland story is that everyone is just focusing on the clashing, but when you look at the broader mission, these protesters are interrupting ICE operations. So although people are focusing on the fighting and the clashing and the tear gas, to Homeland Security, to the Trump administration, this is costing a lot of time and resources for the actual regional mission of ICE deportations. This is a functioning building where Homeland Security expects they can use this building in order to detain illegal immigrants for a short period of time. So when you interrupt operations, when you're pulling federal assets to help out with the protesters, that's why the Trump administration is saying we need the National Guard. And now that the National Guard might not be deployed to Portland, again, this is costing everybody taxpayer money. This is interrupting the ICE mission. This could create more danger for Portland. Again, we got to look at the broader aspect here. And just to show you you guys, this happened just a couple nights ago. This was filmed by Nick Sorter. Go give him a follow. What I really want you guys to understand, the Portland police cannot help out in anything you see. Even though you see protesters making physical contact, obstructing federal agents, the Portland police cannot legally help out in what you're seeing here because the Portland police would be assisting in deportation operations.
I think he's like Mid-Atlantic.
Oh, yeah. Are they? They're blocking the. So you're gonna block and you're gonna play the victim over here? Is that what's about to happen?
Again, this is a clear violation, yet this is where the lines get gray. To any other city that's not a sanctuary city, I mean, this is clearly a violation. I mean, this would be very hard to fight in court and argue why you're standing in front of federal vehicles and they're about to make contact with federal vehicles. But number two, this is the point I've been trying to make throughout all of my videos when it comes to Portland. Sanctuary city policies create these gray areas, even though you can clearly see there's probably an issue here. The Portland police cannot assist. That could cost the city money. I mean, the city could get sued for breaking their own policies. Police officers can lose their job. This is what happens in sanctuary cities. It's just the truth. It's in their own ordinance.
Pedestrians have the right of way in the crosswalk at the state.
Whoa! Whoa!
Yes, you're on camera.
Move out of the way! Move out of the way! Whoa! 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 Whoa!
And look at over here. This car over here now almost just hit someone. Again, instead of just sending in the Portland police to make sure this doesn't happen, somebody just almost lost their life, or somebody else could have lost their lives as well. I'm sorry for stuttering, but again, I cannot believe this is how gray the law gets, where the Portland police cannot assist here, even though their own residents could be in danger of getting hit by other cars, and their own traffic laws are being interrupted.
Back up, Dick. Get out the road. Back up. Yeah, that's right.
Look at you fucking bitch in your eyes. Listen to your bitch. Bring it in.
Go home.
And by the way, if you haven't already, make sure to please subscribe to my channel so I can keep you up to date with stories just like this. I want to make sure you are well informed and you know the policies and you're not scratching your head like, why is the Portland police not helping? We go through all of that in detail.
Joins us now. So the political debate about the raids is one thing, but the legal angle of the city of Portland allowing their activists to block roadways and not allowing them to do their job, well, that's another one, right, Greg?
Yeah, Lawrence, you're right. And, you know, this Portland judge is ignoring what the higher court, the Ninth Circuit, previously said when she first halted Trump's deployment of the National Guard, and that is that the president lawfully exercised his authority. And that judges must always give a great level of deference to the chief executive when he decides that troops are necessary to enforce law and order. The court said that a judge may not substitute his or her own judgment for that of the president when it comes to matters of national security. Why? Because it's a constitutional and statutory power vested solely in the president, not jurists.
I think what we're learning as a country is that judges have a lot more power than we thought they did. In fact, I was talking to some friends and I'm like, why would anybody want to try to be the president of the United States? Why would you want to be a CEO? Just try to become a judge. If you become a judge, I mean, you can pretty much kind of do what you want. Obviously, I'm being a little sarcastic here. Do not take that literally. But what I am trying to say is, I mean, when have we seen anything like this in our history? Anytime recently at all? I don't think so. But what we are seeing is that that judges are just making these decisions that I don't think people even knew you could make. We keep seeing appeal after appeal after appeal from the Trump administration, and to some people this is shocking, and to others they're liking it because a lot of people also don't want the National Guard in Portland.
You know, this particular judge, Karen Emmergut, her ruling will now be reviewed by the full Ninth Circuit, inevitably the Supreme Court, but it does underscore, I think, what President Trump said last night, that his efforts to use ICE in federal law enforcement are constantly being interfered with by judges. Same thing in Chicago. The Supreme Court is now forced to get involved. Too many judges think they're super presidents who can countermand anything Trump does.
And what a lot of people are missing is this context or idea where ICE, Border Patrol, and other security forces are all working in conjunction with one another to include the National Guard. We're seeing these federal sweeps going through cities like right now in Memphis. You saw it in D.C. Portland is on that list as well. I highly suspect the Trump administration would like the National Guard to already be in Portland, and you have ICE, you have all the assets you need to sweep through a city and clean it up. So again, this could be an indication as to why judges are starting to question as to whether or not this is legal, because from the Trump administration, this is not normal. So again, we have to try and look at these patterns and correlation. It's either these judges don't like Trump, or they're just seeing this as not normal and they're questioning it in the courts. That's up to you guys to decide.
It was a dud.
They'll throw it at you.
And look, just a few days ago, the Portland police came out in full force and they said, hey, if you're in the roadway, we're going to arrest you. If you do this, we're going to arrest you. If you have an open beer can, you're going to be arrested. Now here we are, like a week later, nowhere to be seen. But again, we now know that anytime we see some sort of transportation of vehicles, whether they are detainees or federal agents transporting in and out, you're not going to see Portland police. If you see some sort of tear gas, you're not going to see Portland police. But here's the issue. Every single time we see clashes, there's a direct correlation. It's when federal agents come out to meet the protesters, or it's when federal agents are transporting in and out, or it's when federal agents are throwing the tear gas. Since that is basically every single time we see these clashes, you're not going to be seeing the Portland police. But what that also means is during those times of clashes, protesters can pretty much do whatever they want in this area of Portland because the Portland police are not around. And those are the exact words from the Portland police. This is not me just trying to hate on the police. That's what's going on here.
Good. Is it loud in there at night?
Where?
In the, do you live here?
Yeah.
It's loud in there at night?
What you hear here is what you hear in that. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. What they're doing to these people here, there are people here that have been in Iraq War and Desert Storm. Yeah.
Now, Nick Sorter is interviewing a resident who lives in the building. If you guys are subscribed to my channel, we are also in contact with people who live in the building. And overwhelmingly, a lot of people in this building want the National Guard to show up. Interesting enough, a lot of people in this building don't even like President Trump. They could care less about the ICE raids. But one thing they don't like is when their 911 calls don't get responded to. Of course, that's going to lead you to want extreme measures to help you. And if that's the National Guard, if these people can get sleep, if U.S. Army soldiers are deployed in front of them, then they want it.
STD, you should see them shake in the elevator.
Oh, with PTSD.
And the little kids that with families walking to the elevator would be crying when the bombs, all this stuff. It's really not a fun picture. And all this hype is just making, I mean, could you imagine living in one of these? I know 5 of them
I
live
would
there.
throw a fit.
Oh, and they do, but there's nothing we can do about it. It's terrible. I mean, I see families and little kids crying, I just get pissed off.
And I mean, they're stuck in a lease, so there's not much they can do, right?
Oh, it's 4 o'clock in the morning goes off. Everybody goes home, get rested, and they start back about 11 o'clock in the morning. It's just unfair. It's just unfair.
Oh, so not like noise enforcement or anything?
Oh, the city council won't let them do noise enforcement. Before all this happened, the city council wouldn't let the police calm the curfews or anything here.
But this is where things get weird. We have actually seen Tommy Boy, a conservative. You probably have watched his live streams. He has been told if he keeps using his train horn after 10 o'clock, that will be enforced. So as far as this noise curfew, nothing really seems to be like in line, or nothing seems to be black and white as to when the Portland police respond or don't respond. Again, this is what happens in sanctuary cities.
Yeah.
So, like, would you like to see the city council move forward with noise enforcement here?
Well,
they already have. It's just that right now, they're not responding.
Absolutely. These people, it's unfair for anybody in this building or the other one. Where's the other one? No, I guess this one. They've already shut the school down. They won't even let the kids do that daycare.
And the irony of this interview is that there are Portland police officers standing right next to this man who's complaining that the noise ordinance isn't being responded to, and there's loud noises in the background.
Yeah. It's all full of, you know.
So I was curious because, you know, you do have apartments here and people live here, and I haven't talked to anybody
from there yet. Two families up there with kids that you see and they're going down the hallway crying because of all the flash bombs going off all hours of the night. You know, it really is. I mean, it's not fair what's going on. It's just not the right thing to do. There's no patriotism in any of this, and that's what's sad.
So I guess if they enforce, like, I mean, I don't know, if the city council, like, aren't the residents suing or?
Yep, and they lost the lawsuit. Okay, so as of right now, we are on a pause for this National Guard deployment. Now, by Friday, which I think will be November 7th, we will have another answer as to whether or not the National Guard deployment will go through. So we will just wait and see what happens, but when I was doing some research on this story, the fact that it got paused again apparently is not the greatest sign, but then if this gets pushed up to the Supreme Court, I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen. Again, make sure you guys please subscribe to my channel so I can keep you up to date with all of this, and I want to make sure you're getting the best information out there. I also want to say this, I always advocate for peace on my channel. Make sure you please pray for peace. I always try to be as fair as possible. So thank you so much for being here. God bless, and we'll see you all later.